Welcome to my Autism Tribe, a community of advocates that are linked by autism but bound by strength. This is a time to find our sounding board and shoulders that help us carry life's load without the fear of criticism. We give and receive. We nurture and empower. I'm your host, Susan Scott. As you know, we're always searching for wonderful stories and great information to share. On today's episode, we're speaking with BCBA and founder of Proof Positive ABA Therapies, Heather Grimaldi. As a board-certified behavior analyst and clinical director, Heather's focus has always been on supporting the families and team members tasked with implementing behavior-analytic interventions. She built Proof Positive ABA Therapies to teach self-help and social skills, with a family-focused approach and an emphasis on parent education. In 2016, Autism Learning Partners created one of the largest autism therapy platforms by acquiring Proof Positive. And Heather has a funny story to share about this, so stay tuned. And today she continues her work with families as a clinical liaison with Autism Learning Partners in Orange County, California. Please join me in a warm welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today, Heather. I'm just really excited to have you on the show.
Awesome. So excited to be on here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I really love all that you have done. I know that we had a little bit of a touch base before we hopped on here to do the show, and your history with ABA therapy and how much you've helped families, and then just your experience as a sweet mama. I think you just have so much story to share. And so I really want to kind of start off with just you introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about maybe your personal background, like your children and where you live and things like that.
Awesome. So my name's Heather Grimaldi. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I have a daughter. I have a 2-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter. And first and foremost, I'm a mom, and I'm just also passionate about helping families, and I started an ABA company and now a supplement company, and yeah.
Gosh, so you're a mover and a groover. A mover and a shaker.
I am.
That's good. I think we have a lot in common with that. I know I can't sit still for very long, and I think you get that as a mom too.
Yeah.
So you're located in Orange County, California.
I am.
And as I told the guests before, you hopped on, you are the founder of Proof Positive ABA Therapies. So your professional background really started as a BCBA. And why did you choose that professional route?
Awesome. So that is actually a question that I get from a lot of people. How'd you get into this field? And honestly, my cousin was diagnosed with autism when must have been like 17. So I think it was about 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was just a very impressionable age for me. Then you didn't hear as much about autism, and I became very interested in it. And I started volunteering at group homes right when I graduated high school, working with adults with Down syndrome and adults with autism as well. And then I have volunteered at a few ABA companies. Then I got a job at an ABA company and got my degree, my master's in psychology, and then became a board-certified behavior analyst. I just knew it was where I needed to be. I was so interested in this field and helping families, and I love working with kids, and that's just it.
Well, your level of empathy, I can just tell, is really high, and that's so important, I believe, in this field, especially when you're working with families and anyone with special needs. And then as the founder of the Proof Positive ABA Therapies, you have a whole team of people that's looking to you for direction on how to implement these interventions and to be able to have that empathy in working with them as well. Now, I know I made mention in 2016, Autism Learning Partners actually acquired Proof Positive ABA Therapies. And I told the listeners that you had a funny story to share about this because I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
I did. So in November of 2016 was definitely one of the most important days of my life. 2 days that my kids were born. Very, very important days, and days I was married.
Wow.
But I actually went in labor on the day I sold my ABA company. So
oh my God.
It was a very crazy day.
That is crazy. Yeah. All just like really great news.
Yeah.
Well,
but I'd love to talk about, I guess, a little bit more about why I started an ABA company as well and why I became so passionate. So I worked at a few different ABA companies, and this was well before SB 946 passed. And I saw a lot of companies out there just, not hiring the best therapists, and I'm a firm believer that I'd rather have no therapy than a bad therapist.
Sure.
And unfortunately, at least in California at that time, there just wasn't, you didn't have to have as much schooling and credentialing to become a therapist. And so I created it was a smaller company at that time, only a private pay company. But all of our therapists, we had really high requirements. At one time, it was all master's based. Everyone had at least their master's, and just wanted to have a better company. And then we did get into the insurance world. I'll mention this later on when I kind of talk about our supplements as well, but I'd literally spend hours trying to get insurance to pay for ABA for families because they weren't recognizing it at that time in 2011 and 12, and then SB 946 in 2013, where insurance was finally paying for ABA, which was a monumental day. But when I sold my company, we were over 800 employees, and I didn't plan to have this huge company. I know. And so, but we just are so passionate about helping families. I treated every employee like they were our number one employee. They treated the company like it was their company. I treated every family like they were our number one client. And it would be me at 11 p.m. at night talking to a family that just got a diagnosis and just wanting to help families. And we grew like crazy because of that, just being all based on referrals. And then we did start working with Regional Center, and we're one of the first companies actually to start working with Anthem when SB 946 passed. And actually the first with Medi-Cal, and we're a big provider with, this time it was the Autism Services Group, and then became Beacon Health. And they were one of the first providers to get Medi-Cal to pay for ABA. They were the ones that held that contract.
Wow.
So just lots of exciting times. But like I said, I wasn't planning on having this huge company, but I was passionate about helping families, and it got me there. And actually, that was one of the reasons I ended up finally selling, because I got so far removed from helping families and more involved in like the HR world and workman's comp and all these things. And I'm just like, okay, I want to be a mom and I want to help families. I'm like, I just want to do the one-on-one and sit on the ground with the kids and do the therapy. And I'm like, okay. Like, I literally dreamt of like responding to people's Craigslist ads looking for a one-to-one therapist. And I'm like, I'm just going to go there and do that because I love that.
That's what got you into it, right?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I saw how important early intervention is and getting services early. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cannot agree with you more. I know I've made mention several times that my son Alex, I believe, has made so much progress due to ABA therapy. And I know that there are a lot of naysayers out there about ABA therapy, and I know that it has changed quite a bit over the past years. And we started Alex in with ABA therapy at the age of 2.5 when he received his diagnosis. And we had insurance battles, and we had some bad therapists, or ones that maybe were not a good fit. And but man, when we had it good, I mean, it's like everything, light bulbs started going off. That parent communication was just spot on, and I cannot sing enough praises for a good ABA therapy program, because Alex has made leaps and bounds.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love hearing that. And I totally agree with you about, sometimes ABA does get a bad rap, but that's the wrong company. That's a company that is using ABA in like a robotic, and we were all about play therapy and using a child's motivation, and that's really important,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a child, you might be outside playing with bubbles, but you're also working on eye contact, response to name, joint attention, and all these other things. And they don't even know that they're learning all these new skills. They're just motivated and excited and loving playing bubbles. And that's how you get ABA to work. So you're right. It's all about the right therapist and making sure they build rapport and just have a good relationship too.
Yeah. Alex always smiled when we pulled into the parking lot. Like he was excited to go play, and so that's when you know that, okay, we're into something good right now.
Yeah.
And so let's stick with that. He graduated from his ABA therapy program last September. And so he's in kind of an inclusive educational program right now and just continues to have everything roll over. So I'm very, very pleased. Now, I know that you made mention when we were talking before that you have 2 children, and one of them I know has a sensory processing disorder, and I know Alex does as well, and that was also kind of incorporated into his ABA therapy program.
Absolutely.
Can you kind of speak about like from that as a personal experience?
Absolutely. So I noticed at a young age a lot of sensory issues with her, impulsiveness, not understanding boundaries, kind of being right up in people's face, a lot of different things that I was noticing, even things from when I was brushing her hair, very sensitive to stuff like that, and some sensory issues, and some different textures as well, and extra sensitive to sounds. And we got her into ABA very early. I owned an ABA company, so it was perfect. Got her into ABA early, and that made the world of a difference as well. And that's actually, once again, I'll talk about the supplements that I got into as well and why we started that. But her and then my other daughter as well, that is why I'm here as well.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a really cool thing to note that, you know, you're a mother, an ABA therapy program provider, and you had your daughter in an ABA therapy program.
Oh, yeah.
So
yes.
If you didn't wholeheartedly agree with the ABA therapy approach, you wouldn't have placed your daughter in that program as well.
Oh, I saw. Like,
you know,
I've seen, like, you know, there's no cure for autism, but you see kids all the time, they get early intervention, that they lose their diagnosis, you know,
yeah.
And from doing stuff. Like, I'm a big believer at, you know, a child gets an autism diagnosis and doing everything from speech to occupational therapy and ABA. I love ABA and following the low-boss model, all that 40 hours ABA, intensive ABA.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Awesome. Well, and as far as the sensory, I mentioned that Alex, of course, has the sensory issues and stuff. He's like a super duper picky eater. And at first, when he started eliminating foods from his diet, of course, as a mother, it just completely freaked me out. And so, you know, oh my gosh, if I can't feed my child, then I'm not a mother, right? And
yeah.
So he went from really being a child that would eat just about anything that you would put on his little high chair to slowly starting to eliminate, you know, his preferable foods. And so that was kind of one of the first signs and stuff that led me to believe that it was at least sensory processing disorder, if not or you know, autism as well. But the vitamins, the probiotics, prebiotics, all of that stuff is just it's overwhelming as well, because there's so many. You go to any store and you look at the shelf and you're completely inundated with gummies and chewables and Looney Tune vitamins and
right.
Cars vitamins, and you want the best for your kid, and
yeah.
You really don't know. You know that they're lacking that nutrition because they're not getting the vitamins from their food, and so it's another question. And I know that I've done some research and stuff like that out there, and I know that the supplement industry is a really big industry, and there have been some questions with the supplements and things like that. Where are they third-party tested and all of that kind of good and fun stuff. And I know that was something that was very near and dear to your heart because of your 2 kiddos and because of your background as a BCBA and the ABA therapy program. Can you talk a little bit about how that kind of led you into the supplement industry?
Oh, absolutely. So my 2-year-old, that's been the biggest struggle with, it was crazy because out of nowhere, she's 2 and she's eating really well. And, we've been taking her to OTs, biomedical doctors, metabolic doctors, everything in the book. We're like, what is going on? She's just not eating, and had ambulance rides, hospital stays, 2 ambulance rides, a bunch of hospital stays. It's been a crazy journey, and I've had to give her a lot of different supplements. Like, we left the hospital, one of the times that Chuck left the hospital with just a bag of all these different supplements, and she wouldn't eat as is, and I felt like I was giving her so many different supplements that she was filling up on like supplements. I'm like, you're not hungry, especially after taking these supplements now. And it was crazy, and things that, I hadn't even heard and didn't know much about, like L-carnitine and all these different things. And so that's when I became, okay, like, my background is a BCBA and ABA, and I'm a firm believer in ABA, but understanding how important nutrition is, and also then researching and seeing that, like, oh my gosh, in the supplement world, it's the Wild West. Like, they're doing all these things. Like, how on earth is something like third-party testing not something that all companies are doing? And many people don't know what that is. Third-party testing means an independent organization test your product to confirm what you say is in your product is actually in it. And I think it's only like maybe 5 or 10% of companies out there do it. And that's
Isn't
scary.
that crazy?
Like,
that's so crazy.
Gosh, I had no idea. Or seeing a difference in, like, both of my daughters, I noticed a big difference from, like, artificial colors and preservatives and binding agents and no gluten and casein and soy and all these things. And, like, honestly, I didn't think that I was going to start another company, but I became so passionate about this because of both my daughters, and I'm just like, okay, this is where I need to be. So I met with a biomedical doctor, and we created Simple Spectrum Supplement, and it's all based on scientific research, and honestly created the nutraceutical that I wanted to see available. So that was it, like gluten-free, casein-free, no binding agents, a third-party tested, all these things that it's so important. And I'm really wanting to try and, like, this isn't just about a supplement. This is honestly about trying to change the supplement world, because I want this to be standard. When a child gets an autism diagnosis, I want them, now it's ABA, and I'm so glad they're recognizing that, but speech and occupational therapy, but also looking at a child's nutrition, because there's been some crazy studies out lately that, like, Dr. James Adams has some amazing studies about nutrition. There was one lately about vitamin B deficiency being linked to speech delays, and there's a lot about nutrition and just how important nutrition is. And we've been seeing some pretty amazing reviews. So amazing, some of these reviews that I was telling you earlier, we have to literally change some of them because we want to make sure we're DSHEA compliant and FDA compliant. And we actually just got listed from a supplement to medicinal food because we're just hearing such great feedback. And there's no secret to what our product is. All it is the best vitamins and minerals and the most bioavailable, the easy to absorb forms. And we're just seeing amazing results from it. And so I took actually a lot of the supplements that I was having to give to my doctor after some of these biomedical doctors I went to. We combined it all. And like I said, it's based on scientific research, some of the research of Dr. James Adams. And we've just been hearing such wonderful feedback. So much. I think I told you a little bit earlier about I work with I'm actually an ambassador for TACA, the Autism Community in Action. I work with Lisa Ackerman, and she's an amazing mom and such an inspiration. And this is actually, I thought actually that's all I was going to be doing is more volunteering stuff, and just got into the nutrition world after, working with them more too. And yeah.
Gosh, I know it's going back to the third party tested thing. It's just, I mean, like you said, 5 to, I don't even know if it's 10% of the supplements that are third-party tested. But I know that I have taken supplements before, and very shortly after I've taken a supplement, I literally felt nauseous. And I asked my doctor one time, and he said, more than likely, he said, it's the binder in it. It's hard even for us as adults. And you think that a lot of the behaviors that are sometimes associated with autism, I know for a fact that when my child eats, the sugar or something, I know that when he's had a red dye or whatever, I know his behavior is going to change. And that is because what he is putting into his body. And so you think about how some of these kids have, bowel issues, and if their tummy's hurting, they're going to act out. That's how they're communicating. And so if we're helping them out with putting good stuff into their body as much as we can, help them that way, then it's only going to improve things. That's the way that I look at it, at least.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think that it's really great that you guys are taking the time, not only as parents yourself, because you have that parental background, and wanting to help your kids, but also from the professional standpoint that you have with behaviors. And that's what it takes. I think it takes both the professional and the personal experiences to really be able to move these things forward and have a louder voice. So
yeah, absolutely. So what we like to say is kind of our mission. We provide the nutritional needs of the developing nervous system with extra support for individuals with autism. And it is designed for all kids. Anyone that you think is a picky eater that might not be getting the best nutrition, but we often see it in children with autism due to sensory issues, like we talked about with your son and my daughter, and picky eating habits as well.
Yeah.
So, it's so funny too, because now I'm in the supplement world, and I feel like this is deja vu of 2012 when I owned my ABA company, and it's so exciting. Lately, we've been successful in getting insurance to fund for our product. And in 2012, I literally would sit on the phone for hours with insurance companies trying to get insurance to pay for ABA.
That's never fun.
They weren't recognizing it. Oh, no. As you know, with insurance companies. But so passionate about this. I work with this wonderful woman, Michelle Rimmer, who wrote a book on how to get insurance to pay for ABA. And it was not something that happened. And now insurance pays for ABA. SB 946 passed in 2013, and it changed a lot, and we're really hoping to see this in the supplement world. So that's what I'm passionate about, changing the supplement world and getting insurance to recognize how important nutrition is. Even seeing, I think I kind of lost my train of thought earlier, but I was talking about Jacqueline Laredo with someone. She also happens to be on the Housewives. She's an amazing woman, so passionate about helping kids. Has a son on the spectrum, tried our supplement, was like, how do I get involved with you guys? And I think that says a lot about a company that she saw such a great difference in her son. Using on her son is like, I have to get involved with this company. She's so passionate about nutrition herself, and just like a warrior mom, and just she reminds me, her and Lisa Ackerman from Talk are both just big mentors for me, where they just are so passionate about helping families. Would talk to a family at Jacqueline would tell me at 11 p.m. at night, some mom would write her, and she would just be responding to them, just helping them. Her husband would say that had to drag her out of a grocery store because she'd be talking to someone, overhear the word autism, and just want to talk to them and tell them. And that is what we are about. That is what we're about, helping families and having them understand that there's hope. There's so many things you can do, ranging from nutrition to early intervention, and kids lose their diagnosis, and how important early intervention is. So we're just here to help the autism community and help families, and we're just so passionate about this, as you can tell in my voice.
No, it is. I get super excited. I call it juiced. I get juiced up. It's like wherever I am, it's like I am on high alert, and I'm not intentionally being on high alert, but when it comes to my passion for providing resources for families and for, those on the spectrum, I become a bulldog. It's like I will walk into a room and I have a radar that I don't know what it is. People have started laughing at me because it's if I am in a grocery store, I'm looking, I can spot it out right then, and I will go straight over and just introduce myself. And I feel like that's really important too, because a lot of times my son is with me. I'm a single mom. And so, my son goes where I go most of the time, and it's a fairly boring life, but it's like whenever we're out and about, I feel like if I am talking with people about autism and providing them resources and being an advocate for those in the autism community, he is going to see that and feel that and hear that. And so he can be a powerful advocate for not only himself, but for all of the others in the autism community as well. And so
that's awesome.
It's just like, it's, you know, I hope that I am teaching him as much as he has taught me. And
it sounds like it.
Well, I think it's one of those things where I don't know if it's because I'm a bulldog or if I'm just plain out stubborn, but I just really want to make a mark. And it sounds like you guys are really making a mark too. And I'm just really excited for you. You have the passion there, and you have the knowledge there. And I think those are just, you know, combine those two, and it's really powerful. So I really thank you so much for everything that you're doing, not only as a mom, but as a professional and for an advocate, you know, as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would love to talk with you like further and talk with Dr. Kristen Shea and Jacqueline, whoever, because I want to get as many stories as we can out there about what everyone else is doing, you know, in the autism community. There's so many great stories to share, and yours is just one of them, one of many such powerful stories.
Thank you. Thank you. One more thing that I guess I would want to share too about our supplement.
Yeah.
So when I owned an ABA company too, one of the reasons I became so passionate about this, I see so many families going to these biomedical doctors and seeing such great results. And now me, especially having a daughter and going to all these different doctors, and it's all private pay and takes 6 months, a year, some of them even longer to get into these doctors' offices. And I saw how strict countries, I actually have a Danish background, and lots of family in Denmark. But I think I looked on the BCBA website, one BCBA in Denmark, the whole country, which is crazy to me. So I saw how, you know, not many families have access to these doctors, even states and stuff like that. And so we wanted to create a product that, you know, instead of going straight to doctors, we go straight to consumers, and so make it more affordable to families as well. So
that's important,
because we are sold actually in a lot of clinicians' offices and MAPS Doctors Medical Association and Pediatric Special Needs and Dan Doctors' offices, but we're really trying to go straight to consumer just to save them that cost and get them those nutraceuticals, just a really good quality nutraceutical. So that's super important to us as well, and get access to people all throughout the world. So
yeah, absolutely. And so for anyone that's listening, I will be posting in the podcast information show notes more information about the Simple Spectrum supplement. And I also want to note, and I talked with Heather about this, I never want our podcast to come across as a sales pitch, but I was very passionate about getting Heather's story out there because I do believe in this supplement. I do believe in the background of it. I believe in the research of it, and I believe in the passion that they have for making sure that the supplement is right and healthy for the kiddos. So I do want to make that mention. And thank you again, Heather, for all that you're doing. And I look forward to just having a relationship with you. And thanks for being a part of my autism tribe.
Same here. It's such an honor to be on this show. And thank you for all you do. Mom inspiration and just hard worker. And I love your podcast too. So it's awesome.
Our goal is to always share a diverse range of voices within the autism community, people both on and off the spectrum, from all walks of life, with all different backgrounds. We feel it's important because we are all in it together. We can all learn from each other, and we can all support each other on good days and the bad days. Thanks for joining me today and for being a part of my autism tribe. I'll see you next week.